We're doing a hackathon. We're making an attempt to make a SaaS in a couple of days, or at least get as far as we can. Yep, with a bunch of really smart people who are usually working remote from each other and in distinct teams embedded in different customers. So yeah, we're making a SaaS all together. Why not have a hackathon? I love hackathon. I think I participated in about 35 hackathons in a previous company. And I just love the challenge of doing that, creating something awesome in a short amount of time. And this hackathon specifically allows us to test what a software development lifecycle looks like accelerated. So we can, be able to see all the parts of it that work and all parts that don't, and be able to examine it pretty easily because it's a very short amount of time. Yeah, and we're having a fall gathering to get all of everyone in the company together, and just thought it'd be a fun time to have an excuse to work together on something instead of generally we're all working on client projects and separate little sub-teams. Yeah, I mean, probably getting together is the most amazing thing, right? Being able to, we're all usually interacting with each other as postage size pictures in Zoom. So just being able to work on something intensely with somebody in person, it's just something special about it. Well, yes, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to integrate, and different people's have little sub teams that kind of have their own little way of working well together. And anytime you get a new team together, it's a fun process, gelling the team, figuring out how we're gonna work best together. So we're doing that in the Lightspeed 2-day version. Definitely, the Lightspeed part of it has caused the planning part of it also to be pretty light speed, So eventually we planned the design, and then you did a bulk of the work of thinking really hard about this and making lots of tickets. Basically made a bunch of theories, right? 90 theories basically that have to come together properly. And I think that's the part where that we could go wrong. Some of those theories could be wrong and things might misalign. But that's part of the fun, is it really is. So we're a problem-solving organization. That's actually what we talked about, right? In the beginning of this thing. I don't know how we could not accomplish the goal, because even if we come across the roadblocks, this helps us test how Olio Apps as a whole group and individuals pivot. Because, changes happen in any project, in regular client projects at regular timescales, right? And so here we get to test how we react to surprises. Well, we're working on generative AI tooling, so that's exciting. That's kind of in the current zeitgeist of development. The dream would be we're going to actually create a product and get it out there here, and it'll be useful not just for us but for others. At the very least, we're going to learn a lot about working together, about the stack, about generative AI. Absolutely what he said. And I'm going to expand just a little bit on the other part of working with each other. Olio Apps is made out of 4 or 5 sub-teams, right? That have been injected into different cultural context. Every customer is kind of different. What is required of us is different. Now, what we've done is basically normalize Olio Apps' development practices so that it works within those different cultures, but still retains the essential Olio-ness. The Olio-ness, we can talk about that a little bit more, but basically, however, all these people in the different sub-teams have never worked together. And one of the main things I want to see is have a context in which we can see whether or not we can function within the general framework of Olio Apps' software development lifecycle, despite having come from essentially different development cultures. It's an experiment to see whether or not the cross-team training and way of working that we've been talking about for the last, 4 or 5 years, whether or not that translates to
essentially the same effectiveness outside of those like separate cultural contexts.
Well, you can see a little bit of the sausage factory of how we work together, how we like to organize work, review work, and integrate all of that together, and how we can come together and make an actual software product.
That's right. And it's like, because it's bite-sized in the context of a very short amount of time. I mean, this whole thing has been like from planning to execution. Well, it's been about 3 weeks. Yeah, it's about a 3-week SaaS from zero to something.
A little microcosm of what we do every day.
And every part of it can be examined. You can see like how planning went, how like that translated into work to be done. See what happens when you mix the plan with actual implementation. See how we pivot when there are surprises, and then actually all the way to deploying it as a functional SaaS. So all of that is like easier to see when the whole process is short versus like a quarter's worth of work, right? So that's what I'm hoping.
It's going good. I'm kind of helping out with the DevOps and deployments. So far we've got the backend stood up and deployed to AWS. So that's looking good. And we got a database. Next we need to migrate the database and deploy the front end. And once we get all of that deployed once manually, then we're going to automate it so that happens every time we push to our repository.
So what's happened so far is that we've completed our Hackathon kickoff, right? Where basically we define starter tickets that can be worked on immediately without having a lot of cross context dependencies. So we finished the first sprint, which is where we got about 90% of that original goal. And during that first sprint also, we planned what to do for the rest of the tickets. We've completed about 25 of the 90 tickets in the first half day.
Your answer was better than mine.
It was more of the overall.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of like my little...
No, that's fine. It's actually very important. You're in the weeds. I'm actually in the orchestration. Yeah, I'm in the orchestration part. And as far as from the perspective of orchestration, it has gone on pretty well. The people responsible for building the UI and the backend have made those first artifacts that allows us to define the interface that allows the UI to communicate with the backend. The integration team should around this time be getting the domain objects and the interface is defined, and they're going to make JSON mock objects. Once that's complete, then the UI and the backend can further in parallel execute on separate tracks. And then maybe tomorrow we'll be able to merge the work. It's going pretty well as it possibly can. About we're expected. Yeah, right now.
Oh, pretty good.
Pretty good? Yeah. Pretty good. It's actually, it's fun. That's actually where I know it feels good.
Yeah, that's the other subject of this whole thing. It's like part of the gathering, get together, have fun.
So from that perspective, it's going amazingly well. There's cultural fit with all the people. All these working styles are gelling. I can see people like basically independently organize themselves, given just the broad outlines of what we're trying to accomplish in the hackathon, which is amazing. So yeah,
I don't think we're pushing everyone hard enough yet. Need to see some fighting.
Maybe we'll do that maybe like towards the next day. Yeah, probably. Yeah, we'll see.
Keep everyone out too late tonight.
That's true. We'll have to see what happens after some levity later. Right? So yeah, karaoke time. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.